Welcome, everyone, to the Naples Council on World Affairs 28th Annual Southwest Florida Model United Nations. Each year for the past 21 years, Swiffleman has been held at Florida Gulf Coast University, and this year marks the very first time our conference is being held virtually. Our thanks to all of you, schools, teachers, coaches, students, moderators, judges, and volunteers for your commitment to making this first time unique event possible. And a very special thank you to FGCU's President Dr. Michael Martin, FGCU's staff, and Dr. Richard Coughlin for their help in making this year's conference successful.
And now, our national anthem. And now, the chair of the Southwest Florida Model United Nations, Ed Leland.
On behalf of the Naples Council on World Affairs, I want to welcome you to the 2021 version of Southwest Florida Model United Nations. As you could tell from the narration just completed, the Naples Council on World Affairs has been at this for a good many years. But I can assure you that this is our absolute first virtual experience. For those of us who have been involved in the preparations, there's a very big part of it that has been familiar and a very big part that has not. Yet I come away from all of that convinced that these next 2 days are going to be very fulfilling and enjoyable for all of us that have the privilege of participating. In particular, I want to compliment the over 200 delegates that are here today that took the initiative to join an MUN club, to do the research, and to hone the debating skills required to participate. During this year, there have certainly been more than the normal amount of distractions, and you have every right to be very proud of what you have achieved. This year's topics are both timely and consequential, and the countries you represent are going to come at them from very different perspectives. But keep in mind that human beings are far more alike than we are different. It's not reasonable to expect that you're going to be able to solve all problems, but your mission is to try to find practical ways to make things better. There are over 2,000 members of the Naples Council on World Affairs. We joined because we know how interconnected the world is, and we have a shared interest in international affairs. Many of our members have lived outside the United States for extended periods. Some have served in the Foreign Service, in the military, or one of the various intelligence agencies, or worked for international business. We sponsor the Model United Nations because we know that it is highly likely that a knowledge of global affairs contributes to being a more constructive citizen and leads to a more fulfilling life. So consequently, I am very much looking forward to these next few days and the privilege of being with you. It is now my honor to introduce to you the President of the Naples Council on World Affairs, Jim Smutter.
Thank you, Ed, and welcome everyone to this year's Southwest Florida Model UN Conference. We're delighted to see so many people who've taken up the challenge to participate this year virtually. You know, we've been doing this for a long time, as Ed said, and we weren't about to let something like a pandemic get in our way. So we're going full speed ahead today with our program. You know, when we participate in Model UN, we're participating in an institution has a history that's long and storied. The first Model UN competition was in April of 1947, more than 70 years ago. And over the years, a number of very distinguished people have participated as students. For example, Ban Ki-moon, who went on to be Secretary General of the United Nations, participated when he was in high school. During the 3 years she lived in the White House, Chelsea Clinton participated in Model UN and said she loved every minute of it. The actor Rainn Wilson, who most of us know better as Dwight Schrute on The Office, participated as well and said he was a real Model UN nerd. And then finally there's King Willem Alexander of the Netherlands, who participated during his school days and who convinced his mother, Queen Beatrix, to be a keynote speaker at one of his conferences. So many people who've gone on to great things have participated. And I bet there are some people in today's audience who will do likewise. We don't have any royal speakers for you today. And probably fortunately, we don't have Dwight Schrute either. But we do have energetic, excited students who are ready to go. We have judges who are experienced and wise. We have committee chairs who are going to crack the whip and enforce discipline. So I wish you all a great, great conference. Marshal your arguments well, argue them eloquently, and above all, have fun.
We are very fortunate indeed to once again this year have the president of Florida Gulf Coast University, Dr. Mike Martin, to be our principal speaker during the opening ceremonies. His participation is significant for at least two reasons. First, he is a distinguished economist, having held senior positions of great responsibility in numerous prestigious American universities. And second, he is the current leader of the university with which the Naples Council on World Affairs has been partnered for over 20 years in hosting this event. Let me present to you Dr. Mike Martin.
Welcome everybody to this year's 2021 Model UN. I'm Mike Martin. I'm president here at FGCU, and we're delighted always to be a participant in Model UN. This is an incredibly valuable program that I've followed over many, many years. It's incredibly valuable because if you look at its history, many of our leaders that we now turn to in this country participated in their days in high school in Model UN. So it's a career starter for many people as well. But equally important, it's important that everyone takes some time to consider and to reflect on what's happening in our world and how we all work together to make this a better world. Under the auspices of the UN, but also under the commitment we all have to be good global citizens. And participating in Model UN is part of that good global citizenship. For all of the students who are here from across the state, a number of high schools, welcome to FGCU virtually. I hope we get to see you physically on campus one day. To all the other volunteers that make this happen, thank you very much. It's a high calling, it's an important calling. And particularly this year, with all the challenges we face around the world, it's particularly important that people come together and reflect on it, learn all they can, discuss the issues with each other, and be prepared to make a difference as you go out into the world as leaders, as citizens, and just as fellow members of the population on this planet. Thank you all for participating. Look forward to seeing you sometime soon, but in the meantime, have a great, great conference. And as we say here to everyone who comes to our campus, go Eagles.
It's now my privilege to be able to name the schools that are here present, along with their coaches. It seems to me that being a high school MUN coach is a particularly challenging assignment because of all of the demands on teacher time. But this year, it's got to have been absolutely record-setting. I have huge respect for the coaches that found a way to get it done, despite all of the uncertainty and the chaos. Some of the schools here are representing several countries, have large delegations. Other schools are representing just one country with a small delegation. Some schools are habitual participants in Southwest Florida Model United Nations. Others are relatively new or have been absent for several years. Irrespective, we are thrilled to have all of you here. Now I will name the schools along with their respective coaches. Barron Collier, Mark Leiba. Bishop Verot, Bob Pennington, Lynn Knox. Bonita Springs, Tanis Sennett, Sherry Bullock. Cape Coral, Catherine Mackey, Kelly Seaton, Jacqueline Schroeder. Cypress Lake, Kelly Stutz, Brittany Camp. Donahue Academy, Tyler Graham, Quentin Fairchild. Golden Gate, Greg Anderson. Gulf Coast, Susan Soulard, Kristen Velty. Immokalee, Diana McGowan. Lely, Whitney Gaskell. Mariner, Vicki Scott. Naples, Jason Gore. North Fort Myers, Taylor Ashby. Port Charlotte, Bob Johnson. And finally, St. John Newman, Cindy Brewer. It's just wonderful to have all of you here, and I wish very good things for each and every one. It's now my privilege to introduce Dr. Rick Coughlin. Dr. Coughlin has been the Florida Gulf Coast University Model UN advisor since the Naples Council on World Affairs and Florida Gulf Coast University got together over 20 years ago, and to start hosting this event. And during that time, Rick has been a huge contributor, both to the evolution of Southwest Florida Model UN and the university. Let me present Dr. Rick Coughlin to call the meeting to order.
In a few moments, Dr. Richard Coughlin will officially open the 28th Annual Southwest Florida Model United Nations. After he opens the meeting, please go to your assigned committee rooms where moderators will welcome you and begin your committee session at 9:30 a.m. If you need assistance, please visit the help desk in the virtual lobby or stop by the virtual Model UN office. We wish everyone an enjoyable and successful conference.
Hi, everyone. I'm Rick Coughlin, a professor of political science at Florida Gulf Coast University and a long-term participant in Model United Nations. This year's conference starts in close proximity to the one-year anniversary of the pandemic. Last year, we barely squeezed in this conference before the pandemic shut down much of the country and the world. And this year, we were considering not doing the conference at all, but thanks to the perseverance of the Naples Council on World Affairs, we're moving forward. I'd like to recognize the chairs at this year's conference. They're indicative of the kind of interconnected world that we live in. We have two individuals that are chairing committees from Europe, one in Spain and the other in Switzerland, a cluster of international students studying at the University of Minnesota, and several FGCU students with international backgrounds. It's a cliche to say it, but the world is deeply interconnected. In spite of the fact that humanity consists of many people, we share one world, and we are bound, as Martin Luther King said, in a garment of mutual destiny. Forums like Model UN can teach us how to understand differences between peoples and states on key global issues and how to work towards resolving those differences. What you are engaged in here is the work of humanity. So good for you that you're here today and ready to participate in this work. For 23 years, I've been associated with this conference for 23 years. It's been my pleasure to open the Southwest Florida Model United Nations, and I'm getting ready to do that in just a moment. After I open the conference, you'll all hop in the elevator that you see on the lower half of your screen, go to your committee rooms where your chairs will start the work of your committee. So that will happen in just a moment. So let's get ready. And now here it is. I call this meeting to order. Delegates, report to your committees, and good luck to everyone.
Please proceed to your committee rooms inside of Gatherly. If you need help or have questions, please stop by the help desk in the virtual lobby. We hope you have a great conference.